Hi, my name is Austin Zoot, and welcome to the Zoot Perspective Web Congregation. This week we pick up the book of Leviticus, and we start to get into some of the nitty-gritty details that are very, very specific about what it's like to live in the wilderness and what it's like to start behaving like we're God's chosen people. Now, we see a lot of talk about sacrifices. We're given instructions on how Aaron and the priests are supposed to conduct the business of God and how to sacrifice certain animals certain ways and for certain purposes. It's a lot of details, it's a lot of nitty-gritty details, it's a lot of repetition and a lot of intricacies. This is the first Torah portion where we start to say, ooh, are we sure we want to talk about this every week? The answer is yes. Of course we want to talk about it every week. Of course we want to find something meaningful beyond some of the details that may not be so important to our day-to-day lives. The thing I found most interesting this week is that there's an entire passage about when someone sins, here's what they're supposed to do. When someone commits a wrong, they're supposed to offer a sacrifice of some kind. They're supposed to bring an animal or bring something. We'll get to that in a second. But they're supposed to bring something to the priests to be sacrificed and go through the process of the correct sacrifice according to what the priests are commanded to do and according to what the person who has sinned is asked to do. Now, when we're first told of this, we're told that when someone sins unintentionally, they're expected to go through this behavior. When someone does something and they didn't mean it, they didn't do it on purpose, they didn't do it out of some evilness or begrudgingness, they did it because they were living their lives and something happened. We know that feeling. We go through our lives and sometimes stuff happens. I changed the phrase a little bit. Stuff happens. And when stuff happens, sometimes it doesn't go right and sometimes we screw up. And when we screw up, it's okay. And what we can learn from this week's Torah portion is that it is okay and that there are things to be done to make it better. Once we've decided we're going to go make it better, God commands us that we're supposed to bring a sheep to be sacrificed by the priests on behalf of our sins, to cleanse us of our sins, and to make it all better. Except, sometimes someone can't afford a sheep. And the Torah specifies that if you can't afford a sheep, you can bring a goat. Well, if you can't afford a goat, there is the provision that next step would be to bring 2 turtle doves. Okay. Well, if you can't afford turtle doves, you can bring pigeons. Now, we're seeing this evolution. Finally, if you can't bring pigeons, you can bring flour that can be appropriately sacrificed and given to God as a sacrifice to apologize and to be cleansed of one's sins. Why do we see this evolution? Why do we see, if not a sheep, then a goat, if not a goat, then a turtle dove, if not a turtle dove, then a pigeon, if not pigeons, then flour? What does this show us about what we need to learn about sinning and what we need to learn about forgiving ourselves? We see that everyone screws up, everyone goofs up, everyone makes mistakes, and everyone is required to give their best. It is specified that you are supposed to take the best of the flock. You're not supposed to bring the 3-legged sheep whose fleece is off-colored and doesn't really smell so good. You're supposed to bring the most beautiful and the best of your flock to sacrifice to God. You're supposed to give God your best. But when you can't afford to give God the best of one thing, it's okay to give the best of something else. It's okay to give what you can afford. When you need to apologize for a misgiving or a sin, it's okay to say, I can't. It's okay to say, I've got to do the best I can do. When I need forgiveness, I don't need to do the best that that guy can do. I need to do the best that this guy can do. And that teaches us that as we go about our lives, we don't need to be looking to do the best others can do. We need to be looking to forgive ourselves and to give of ourselves the absolute best we can muster, but not so much that it hinders our ability to continue to do good in the future. We're taught that in forgiving ourselves for our sins, we are asked to do the best, but we're asked to do the best we can do. That's what I got out of this week's Torah portion. As always, please feel free to join the conversation. Leave a comment below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel because we have tons of great material coming out. The Zoot Perspective is a wide variety of thoughts and ideas, so make sure you're getting involved. Also, if you like the work I'm doing, please feel free to donate to my page to help me continue to develop my skills and learn what I need to learn to make this a reality. So my GoFundMe page is also located in the section below. Thank you so much. Shabbat Shalom.